Over 18,000 excited fans had packed the arena that night. The air was electric, buzzing with the kind of energy only a sold-out Elvis Presley concert could generate. From the moment the lights dimmed and the first notes rang out, the crowd was completely captivated. They sang along, clapped, and cheered, hanging on every movement of the king of rock and roll. But little did anyone know that amid the roaring excitement, something extraordinary and profoundly human was about to unfold. Somewhere in the massive crowd, a small, fragile figure struggled to sit upright. She was just 7 years old, her name Jenny, though no one outside her family would know it. Diagnosed with a serious illness, her time was painfully limited. Her parents had brought her to the concert, not for the thrill of fame, but for a chance to see her hero one final time. Doctors had warned that she might not survive the night, but her family, clinging to hope, brought her anyway. In a world full of uncertainty, this night held a simple promise: joy, music, and a moment with the man she adored. Backstage, Elvis was preparing for his performance, the orchestra tuning, the crew bustling, and security ensuring the arena was safe. Elvis, as always, exuded a mix of confidence and warmth, a presence that could command a room yet make each person feel personally seen. He walked out onto the stage, greeted by the deafening roar of 18,000 fans. The spotlight hit him, and the audience erupted into cheers, chants, and applause. He smiled, waving, but then something caught his eye. Across the sea of faces, he noticed a small girl being carefully guided by her parents. Her pale skin and frail frame set her apart in the crowd. Her eyes, wide with awe, focused solely on him. In that instant, everything else faded. The music, the lights, the screaming fans all became background noise. Elvis's attention was entirely on her. He stopped mid-song. The orchestra paused. The flashing lights softened. The arena, previously vibrating with excitement, became silent. Thousands of fans, unsure at first what was happening, turned their eyes toward the young child. Elvis, microphone in hand, spoke gently but firmly. "There's a little girl here tonight," he said, his voice cutting through the quiet. "She's 7 years old and fighting a battle we cannot see. I want her to know we're all here for her." A hush fell over the audience. Mothers clutched their children, strangers held hands, and some fans wiped tears from their eyes. Even the most casual concertgoer could feel the weight of the moment. This wasn't just a performance anymore. It was something much bigger, a testament to humanity, compassion, and the ability of one person to make a difference. Elvis motioned to the family, inviting them to bring Jenny closer to the stage. With careful guidance, she was brought to the front. He knelt down, bringing his eyes to hers, and asked for her name. She whispered softly. He smiled warmly, leaning closer. Then, with a nod to his band, the music started again, this time slow, tender, and deliberately soft. Elvis sang, not to the crowd, but to her. Each word was deliberate, heartfelt, and filled with emotion. He projected not only the strength of his iconic voice, but also the vulnerability and care of a human heart reaching out to another. Jenny's eyes widened, and slowly she began to smile, a real, joyful smile that lit up her tiny face. The audience watched in stunned silence. Some cried openly. Some held on to strangers, overwhelmed by the display of pure compassion from someone they had come to see as a superstar. Elvis had turned the concert into a private, intimate moment for a single child. For everyone watching, it was a lesson in empathy and the transformative power of presence. After the song, Elvis took Jenny's hand and lifted her slightly so she could wave to the crowd. The arena erupted not with wild screaming, but with cheers of recognition, emotion, and awe. The child had just experienced something no words could describe: the kindness, generosity, and humanity of her hero. Backstage, the story continued. Elvis personally ensured Jenny and her family were safe and comfortable, arranging for them to meet privately after the show. Gifts were sent to lift her spirits in the following days, including letters and personal mementos from Elvis himself. For Jenny, the night was unforgettable, not only because she saw Elvis, but because she felt truly seen, valued, and cherished. The fans in the arena would tell the story for years. Some cried while recounting the moment. Others shared how they had never seen such an act of love and compassion at a concert before. It was a defining moment that went beyond music. It revealed the heart of Elvis Presley, a man who understood fame was meaningless without kindness. But let's step back for a moment. Imagine the sheer courage of that little girl, sitting among 18,000 people, facing her illness and choosing to be present. And then imagine the empathy of a man who, at the height of his career, could pause, acknowledge her struggle, and dedicate a song to her. That intersection of vulnerability and compassion created a ripple effect. Thousands felt it. Millions would hear about it. And it became one of the most humanizing, unforgettable moments in concert history. Elvis's actions that night serve as a reminder that true greatness is measured not by talent or wealth, but by the ability to touch lives and bring comfort to those in need. In that moment, he wasn't performing for applause or fame. He was performing from the heart. The audience realized it. They felt it. And 18,000 people left the arena that night forever changed. Even years later, fans and journalists recount the story with reverence. They describe the child's smile, the tears in the audience, and the way Elvis made everyone, from the biggest fan to the smallest observer, feel the power of love and human connection. And that is why, when we talk about Elvis Presley, it's not only about the music, the fame, or the dazzling performances. It's about moments like this, moments when a superstar became simply a human being, capable of extraordinary empathy and compassion. Moments that remind us that music, when combined with genuine care, can heal, inspire, and transform lives. So every time you listen to Elvis, remember, the king of rock and roll was more than a performer. He was a man who understood the weight of attention, the power of kindness, and the incredible difference a single gesture could make. And on that unforgettable night, with one dying little girl and 18,000 witnesses, he showed the world exactly what it meant to be truly legendary, not for the applause, but for the love he shared. Thank you. Truly, thank you for staying with me until the very end. It may seem like just another video, but the truth is, this moment, the one we are sharing right now, is special because of you. It's because you chose to stay, to listen, to feel, and to be part of this journey. And that, my friend, is remarkable. You see, fans like you are the heartbeat of every story we tell. You are the ones who remember, who celebrate, who keep legacies alive. Elvis Presley's music, his life, and the incredible moments of generosity, love, and humanity he shared with the world, they live on because people like you continue to care. You're not just watching a video. You are participating in a living history, keeping it vibrant, meaningful, and full of life. Think about that for a moment. Every time you've played an Elvis record, every time you've shared a story about the king with a friend, every time you've smiled, laughed, or even cried because of him, you've contributed to something bigger. You've become part of a tradition, a family of people who understand that music isn't just notes and rhythm, it's connection, emotion, and memory. I want to take a moment to honor you. Your attention, your presence, your willingness to immerse yourself in these stories. It matters. In a world filled with distraction and noise, you have chosen to focus, to pause, and to feel. That alone shows a depth of heart that is rare and beautiful. And it's not just about listening. It's about reflecting, remembering, and even taking lessons from these stories into your own life. Elvis taught us that fame, talent, and success mean very little if they aren't paired with love, compassion, and generosity. He showed us that true greatness is measured not by the number of fans in an arena, but by the lives you touch, the kindness you give, and the moments of connection you create. That is why your presence here tonight is so important. By listening, you are honoring that very legacy. You are demonstrating that you value not just the music, but the humanity behind it. And that is extraordinary. I want to share some real stories from fans who have told me about how Elvis's music changed their lives in ways small, quiet, and deeply personal. There's a young woman from Memphis who told me she learned to play guitar because of Elvis. She said his songs weren't just entertainment, they were motivation, a spark that kept her going through hard times. Then there's a man who grew up in a small town, miles away from Memphis, who said he used to listen to Elvis late at night on a tiny radio. He told me that hearing Elvis sing gave him hope, made him dream bigger than his circumstances allowed. That is the power of connection, the ability of one person's art, heart, and generosity to inspire thousands, even millions, to believe in themselves. And it's not only the music. Many fans shared stories about the kindness and generosity of Elvis as a person. Like the time he stopped a concert to comfort a dying child, or when he bought an entire watermelon stand for a young boy. These weren't publicity stunts, they were acts of pure heart. And you, by staying with me tonight, are helping these stories live on. You are witnessing, honoring, and amplifying them, So I want you to take a moment right now. Close your eyes if you need to. Picture yourself in an arena, thousands of people around you, lights blazing, music filling every corner of the room. And then imagine someone looking directly at you, speaking not to the crowd, but to you, acknowledging your presence, your worth, your importance. That is what it feels like when you listen fully, when you stay until the end. You are being seen. You are being valued. You are being celebrated. I also want to remind you of the lessons we can take from this. Life is fleeting, moments are precious, and kindness is everything. Just as Elvis gave freely of his time, his energy, and his heart, you too have the ability to impact lives. A kind word, a smile, a gesture of care, it all matters. It doesn't have to be grand. It just has to come from the heart. And each act, no matter how small, continues the legacy of love that people like Elvis showed us. Being here, listening, and reflecting means you are part of a very special community. A community that values empathy, connection, and the beauty of shared experiences. A community that doesn't just consume stories, but honors them. And that makes you extraordinary. Let me tell you another story about a fan named Sarah. She wrote to me about the first time she heard Elvis's version of My Way. She said she was going through a really difficult period in her life, feeling lost, unsure of herself, and overwhelmed by challenges. But listening to Elvis, she said, made her feel courage, strength, and clarity. She felt like he was speaking directly to her, telling her to keep going, to be brave, and to embrace life fully. That is the impact of listening with intention. That is why staying until the end matters. And it's not just one story. Thousands, millions of people have similar experiences. Each fan's story is a thread, weaving together into a tapestry that honors the man, his music, and the values he embodied. You are part of that tapestry now. Your presence, your attention, your willingness to stay and feel, these are the threads that make it stronger, brighter, and more meaningful. I want to take a moment to reflect on something powerful. When we pay attention, when we truly listen, we allow ourselves to be transformed. It's not just about learning facts or hearing tales. It's about feeling the emotion, understanding the heart, and carrying that forward into our own lives. By staying until the end, you have done exactly that. You have opened your heart. You have honored the story, the legacy, and yourself. And here's the beautiful part. This isn't just about Elvis. It's about you. It's about what it means to be fully present, fully engaged, and fully human. It's about the power of connection, empathy, and shared experience. Every second you've spent listening, every tear, every smile, every moment of reflection has contributed to something bigger than a video. It has contributed to a living, breathing celebration of life, love, and art. So, thank you. Thank you for staying, for feeling, for caring, and for being part of this journey. Thank you for honoring the legacy of a man whose heart was as big as his talent. Thank you for being part of a community that values love, kindness, and human connection. And as we close this video, I want you to carry this feeling with you. Know that your presence here matters. Know that your attention matters. Know that your heart matters. You are seen. You are appreciated. You are extraordinary. And you are part of something timeless, a family of fans, friends, and humans who understand the power of empathy, love, and storytelling. Tonight, remember this. Staying until the end isn't just about finishing a story. It's about embracing the beauty of connection, the magic of music, and the warmth of human kindness. You've done something special. You've honored a legend, and in doing so, you've honored yourself. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for being here. You are more than a fan. You are family. And in that, there is something truly extraordinary, something timeless, and something beautiful.